Well, that's a lot of games that have just been remade completely. But it's never a bad thing, because most remade games are like really great. I mean, The Thousand Year Door is like a really great remake. I would consider it one of the best Switch games that have been, or games that were remade. Like all the GameCube games are like really great normally, and luckily Nintendo decided to port this one, and it's a really great game. Then you have stuff like Kirby's Return to Dreamland remake with extra content, just like Thousand Year Door. Thousand Year Door didn't have a lot of content though. It was for the remake. This had a completely new epilogue. That's what most normal games have, like Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Journey. Story, I meant, with Bowser Jr.'s Journey. And when you really think about it, isn't that what every remake has? It just has like an extra story, epilogue or whatever, etc. And what's funny is this is the best-selling game on the DS, but the worst-selling Mario game of all time in America. Sadly. Then you have remakes that are just remakes. Like Super Mario RPG. This didn't really have much new content, but it had like a few extra boss fights, and they remade the soundtrack, the game, everything. I even got the original artwork in the case, speak of which. Like, that's great. But then you have this one again. It's not a bad game, it's just every single thing has like, well, they have like an epilogue on everything, so it kind of gets repetitive. But it's nothing to complain about, that's all. Then this is just like Super Mario RPG, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. It didn't really seem to have any new content. I haven't really played it that much, but it's a pretty niche game for the amount of money you're paying, and it's 2 games for the price of 1. They're just GBA games, though. Now, Square Enix, I know they do great with the remakes. I just haven't played this one in particular yet. So, I don't really have much to say about it, but I know it's a lot better than the original. Then, you have some of the Pokemon games, like this. It's a completely different name from Pokemon Yellow. But this is what the remake of Pokemon Yellow is considered to be, Let's Go Pikachu. It kind of reveals that by saying a first Pokemon adventure for everybody. Hint, hint, first. They kind of give it away in the name, so. I mean, it's nice, but some people really want, like, the older games on the Switch. But this probably is the best people will get, sadly. Then you have more games that are remakes, but this one has more subtle add-ons. There's like new worlds, 2-player co-op, but it's not really advertised as much. They did advertise it and everything, but this is like another one of those remakes. Has a little more bonus content, but it's more subtle. Like Mario RPG. Now, this one is great. I will say, if you've never played Persona 3 Reload or any Persona games, this should be your first one. Either that or Persona 5, because I know that game's good too. Or Persona 4. Any of the 3. But this, I loved. Has lots of new small content, but it's a little bit of a letdown somewhat. But it's a great game. That's all I have to say about that one. Now this one, we didn't even freaking know about. Like, dude. It was maybe if you were like really into Nintendo, but this originally was a Japan exclusive NES game, and it was like called Fire Emblem Gaiden, I think. But in America, once it was localized finally and remade, it was called Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, and there's no other Echoes games from what it seems. I do not know where they went, so. Whew. Then you've got this, I would consider a remake. its peripherals and everything, its visuals, etc., are so much better than the original on the PSP, because I played both versions, not completely, but I know it's a lot better than the PSP version. So, but it doesn't seem to have really new content, but it's definitely a remake. Then you have the remakes that were like, oh, we're just porting this to another console so both can play on the same console. Because, like, well, Trauma Center Second Opinion is technically a remake of Trauma Center Under the Knife for the DS. And that's what it was mainly for, so I would consider this a remake. But you could also consider it a port, but I consider it a remake. Now, this I have not played, but I know it's not just a HD remaster, like it says on the spine and how they seem to advertise it and everything. But I know I heard it's like a really great Atlas game, besides like some of the newer Shin Megami Tenseis. Persona's raved about so much that it's not really... There's not really any other Atlas series besides Persona that can be really talked about. They can be talked about, but not a lot of people talk about them. Then you have these games that were ports of some games, like Dreamcast games. This was one of them. This is not a port, it's a remake. The remake of Samba de Amigo is very, very similar to the original. If you had the maracas for the Sega Dreamcast and stuff, if you know what that is. But it sums up to be very close to the original Samba de Amigo. Like, very close. Very, very close. And it has some new content, like completely new songs, and you could get stuff on Nintendo Wi-Fi. Like, well, you can't do that now, but if you do a little, you know, you should just know if you are into retro games. This, same thing with Shin Megami Tensei 3. They put HD on the label, but it's clearly a remake. Like, come on. So I don't even have to talk much about this one. Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. It's a okay monkey ball game. And I think it's alright. Now, these, I know there's some controversy with. These two games right here are not that bad, in my opinion, from what I've played so far. They're alright if you're someone who's on a budget. But I've heard they're like the worst Pokemon games. I haven't played them yet, so I don't have any word. But I know they are remakes. And I got both of these for like a pretty good deal. Buy one, get one free, and I got them for $60. Both of them. Now this, I know a lot of people want on the Switch. Which I can agree, it's a pretty decent game. I haven't finished playing it, but I know it's good. So I will not say much about this, and it's not HD, it's a remake. Straight to the point, Resident Evil 4 remake. Great game, I know. I haven't finished playing it, but I've liked it so far. That's all I would have to say. So I know that it's a great game. It's like considered the best in the franchise by most people. The first four are really the only ones, because the newer ones are not as great, I heard. I'm not even going to talk about this one. Get out. Yes, Link's Awakening. I know this is a great game. From what I hear, a lot of people like this one. But I just haven't got the time to play it yet. Now, this is another Persona 3 Reload to me. When I got my PS5, this is one of the first games I ever got for the console. It's great. I would tell anyone to go play this and Persona 3 Reload. These are the best JRPGs I've played in my life. So, the greatest game of all time got a port, and now it's not the greatest game of all time. But I know this game is great. I just haven't got around to play it. It's in my backlog and everything. So, yeah. Still, great game, I know. This is the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, I know it's going to be a good game. And I can tell by looking at it, it is a great game, because if you pay $70, not to mention I bought the deluxe edition of this game, it's a lot of money. But I would consider this a remake. It's a remake of like one part of Final Fantasy VII. They just extended the content to make it longer. But it's a completely new game, basically. But it's still a remake. So, and they're trying to get more money out of people. And if they made a fourth part, oh yeah, they'd be getting money out of people. But anyways, that's all the remakes I know I have. I have a few more that I wasn't able to mention in this video. But I would like to thank you all for watching this video, and like and subscribe, and I'll post more videos like this soon in the future. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.